Welcome back to Telltale Books. Norman Spinrad is one of the older and distinguished science fiction authors still alive and still writing. Got his start in the 1960s, and he just released an interesting experiment. What he did is he has the first draft of a book. It's something he's been writing for a long time. He started writing it a while ago. What I read didn't say just how long ago he was writing this, but then he stopped and set it aside for a long time, and now he's picked it up, finished his first draft, and it's a first draft. It's rough, but he put it on Amazon Kindle. And his stated purpose for doing this, and he's selling it for 99 cents, and I think it's still available, but he was only going to make it available for 30 days, and then it goes away. This first draft will go away forever. What he stated he was looking for is to attract an editor and a publisher to help him finish the book and publish it as a final novel. The book is titled Nowhere Land. Not sure how this has been going for him. I do follow his Facebook page, but I haven't seen any statements as to whether it's succeeding or failing. But as soon as I saw this, I right away went and bought, because I'm not that familiar with Norman Spinrad, but I have a great deal of respect for him based on what I've read about his work and how it fits into the history and growth of science fiction. Having written novels that are considered classics like Bugjack Baron and The Iron Dream. And so I've always wanted to read Spinrad. And so this I saw as an opportunity. And I realized I had to jump on it right away if I want to read this first draft, or I could wait and hope that he gets a publisher and it does come out in a final. I decided, no, I'm not going to take a gamble at all, even if it's only a small gamble. I wasn't going to take a gamble. I wanted to get this book, so I bought it and I read it right away. Interrupted some other stuff that I wanted to read for this channel just so that I could get this done. So it was just released on July 10th. Yeah, so the 30 days aren't up yet. Sometime in August. First week of August, first week or middle of the second week, it'll expire. So the story has two people, Carla and Will. Carla is a woman. You're not going to like either one of these characters because they're both not likable, okay? And I'm sure a lot of feminists will scream about the way Carla is portrayed, but let's face it, there are women like this out there that will do anything to climb the ladder and gain fame and fortune. They do exist. Okay, vast majority of women are nothing like that, but there are some out there that will do anything. And so Carla will sleep with anything if it'll get her fame and fortune, a little closer to fame and fortune. And Will isn't much better. I mean, he's not sleeping around, but he's in the ad game and marketing game and what he calls smoke and mirrors. And so he's basically a con man, a very highly paid con man, and is working and he talks his way into a very high position and a very, very what's the word? A firm that is at the top of walls of the ad agencies, Madison Avenue ad agencies. So they're both social climbers. They're both pursuing fortune and fame and the good life. And Will had hired Carla to be a model for a product he was promoting. And so then he hires her to be his escort to a party, big party where there's just all kinds of important New York people at this party. So they both go there and they're both going their own ways, trying to schmooze people into giving them more. And they get very drunk and they get in a taxi and go home. And this is set in a near future where the taxis are self-driving. Okay, so they're computer robot controlled. They get into the taxi and they both pass out in the taxi going home. But they wake up and they're nowhere near New York City. They're in the middle of some forest somewhere. And the taxi is completely dead, absolutely no power. Something has happened. Taxi went way off of its course, and then power died. And there just is no power. They try their cell phones, there's absolutely no cell phone service. They're just screwed. They have to walk out of here, and they have no clue where they are, and they are a very long way away from home. So they start walking, and they start meeting common people. First they meet up with a group of gypsies. After that they get into a small town. They have a run-in with kind of a mob boss in this small town. And they get involved, they get into a variety of situations that the two of them are ill prepared for, but they manage, using their intelligence and Will's smoke and mirrors, to get out of these situations and find their way back to New York City to find out what has happened, the disaster that has happened. A little bit spoilery, what has happened is that the internet has died and computers have died, which of course takes the power grid offline and communications all offline. Really trashes civilization, and people have to adapt. And of course the common people out in the rural areas, they don't have such a hard time of it. They are able to adapt pretty well. But city people like Will and Carla, they have to struggle because they don't know how to handle this. And it brings up something I often think about when I need something and I go and I Google it, and I think about how much I rely on the internet, how much all of us are relying on this internet. What happens what if it does go down? What if somebody figures out a virus that just takes it out and it can't be brought back up again? What do we do then? When I was a kid in the 1970s, we didn't have it. We had radio, we had television, we had letters, and we had a library, public library. Those things they aren't gone, but they've been kind of being pushed to the side. A lot of libraries are in danger of being shut down. Network television has had to move out onto the internet to keep competing. Radio is still there, but not much of anybody is listening to it. Just mostly senior citizens are still listening to regular radio. So if we lose those things completely, we won't be able to function if we become completely reliant on internet and computer technology. And yeah, there are ways that those things could be brought down. So it like I said, I would really love to know when Spinrad started writing this, because if he started writing this before the internet was a thing, it makes the book all the more interesting that he was able to revise it and adapt it to our internet age and make it relevant. But I don't know. He might have started writing it in 2005 when the internet was already out there, for all I know. I won't go so far as to call this a top tale, especially because it is a rough first draft. Okay, a lot of spelling and grammatical mistakes because he just typed it out and didn't concern himself with cleaning it up. Knowing that he's going to be revising it anyway, so why does he care if he makes typos? So there's typos everywhere. but it is readable, and it is a very enjoyable story. It is a really good story, and I really want to see this book finished. I hope somebody does help him and does get this thing published, because I really want to read it all cleaned up and finalized and see how much farther he takes it than this first draft. But even if he doesn't do too much more, the first draft is very enjoyable. It's kind of a satirical novel. Okay, it's not being told really, really seriously. It's kind of being told in a funny manner, and there are a lot of bad puns, just to warn you. Content warning. There are bad puns that may cause you to groan for an hour, but it is a pretty funny book. It is an enjoyable story. Can't say I liked the characters any more than I like Darth Vader. You know, they're not nice people, but you still learn, you still kind of like them, and they do grow through the story, even though they don't completely change. They do grow as people and become better people by the end of the story. So it's an excellent novel, and really should be published. I really hope to see this in final form, and I hope you will support Norman Spinrad and go out and buy this off the Kindle store while it's still available. You got, I think, about 10 more days to get it. So I think you'll enjoy it. This is a near future science fiction story talking about a very frighteningly real possibility by someone who's a master of the genre. Someone who's one of the great writers that we still have around. And I'll stop with that. And please leave your comments, like us and subscribe to us, and come on back for more. I look forward to reading more Norman Spinrad, especially his best known novels, in the near future. And if I do, I will report on them on this channel. And goodbye till then.